Dee?
I want to know if we're still going to be paying in taxes to this program, even if we're opted out.
Yeah, I don't know what the taxes are going to be yet. A lot of that will be done through the, I'm assuming it's going to be done through business payroll taxes and that sort of thing. So I don't know the answer to that. But I know one thing, the only way they lock us in is because of the money. That's it. There is nothing constitutional about health care. It is not in this little book right here.
Amen.
You look at Article 1, Section 8 of this book, and the Congress discussing a nationwide health care program is as unconstitutional as it can be. They should not be wasting their time and our money in this debate in Washington, D.C. today. Now, if we want to have that discussion, do we want to have state care? Do we want to, live in a nanny state? There's a lot of politicians here that would like to do that. Certainly, Congress does not have. So I don't know the answer to that yet. No one's even seen the bill, and we've all heard the horror stories. So we will be vigilant in trying to stop it at every turn. Yes, ma'am.
I need you to correct this if I'm wrong. Does Oklahoma have a majority of Republicans?
Yeah.
Well, if Governor Henry does not want to sign that bill, do we have enough to override his veto, or do we have to wait till you get elected for governor?
We would know that going in once the vote was taken. We may have enough to pass it, but we may not have enough to override the veto. There are still a lot of liberal, and I know there may be some Democrats here, so I'm not talking to the conservative, freedom-loving Democrats or independents. I'm talking about the liberals, the Ted Kennedys of the world, and we have those in the state legislature. They don't represent their district, I can tell you, because I've traveled this state while I've been campaigning for governor. I've traveled all over the state, and I'm finding conservative, patriotic Republicans, Democrats, independents, and libertarians. But I will tell you, the state legislature is full of very liberal Democrats. So whether we would have enough this year to overturn the veto, I don't know. But I can tell you, it would be easy, an easy thing for me if I was in that office. So that's not going to be a problem. Yes, sir.
What do you make of VO's repeated remarks about this civilian army with which he's usually so infatuated?
All of these things just kind of keep me freaked out. He asked, what about the civilian army? Again, the president has no authority to do that. Now, the governor has the authority to call out the state militia to protect this state. The president has no authority. So, it's obvious. I don't have to hound on all the things that are wrong. We got them. We know what's wrong, and we know that this president is working overtime in trying to strip us of our sovereignty as a state. How many of you saw my press release yesterday? Okay, not near enough of you. So that means the rest of you are not on my website. Otherwise,
The email for everybody came out this evening about 5 o'clock.
Okay, so when you get home tonight, you will probably have an email from me. But I want to encourage you, this would be a good segue, a little advertisement. Go to my website if you haven't done it yet, and join my team. There's a little bar right on the top of the front page. Just click it, join my team, and you'll be getting some weekly, bi-weekly, and sometimes daily information about the issues of the day. And I know that this group knows what the executive order that Obama signed a couple of days ago. And so we issued a paper on that, and a little video and a little information to guide you other places. So go to my website, randybrogdon.com, and join the team, and you'll be getting a wealth of information as we go through. Yes, sir.
It seems to me that we're having a constitutional crisis, and it puzzles me on why no one has filed suit against the legislative branch for trying to pass legislation
Yeah.
that is not consistent with our Constitution,
Right.
which is the executive branch's responsibility to make sure laws are not being passed that violates the
Yeah.
Constitution, which violates Article 6, their oath to office.
Right.
I understand the Supreme Court cannot come into effect until a law is passed. And so what I want to know is, what are you doing, or what is the state, or anyone doing, to challenge our government on the constitutional authority
Yeah.
that they are supposedly.
Well, he asked the question, if you couldn't hear it back there, you know, what are we doing to challenge these unconstitutional laws that are passed every day? It's one of the most frustrating experiences of my life, serving in the state senate the last 7 years. That's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life, but it has been the most frustrating. Because every single year, we pass many laws that are unconstitutional. What I do to challenge them is I fight them tooth and nail all session long. And I do what I can do as a sitting state senator. I vote against those bills. Last year, I stood on the Senate floor and debated against a bill. I opened up to this, I carry my little pocket constitution with me everywhere I go. But the Oklahoma Constitution is about that thick, so I keep it back behind me on the Senate floor. There was a bill that came to the Senate floor that I recognized was just so blatantly unconstitutional with the state of Oklahoma, not the federal law. And I leaned back and I thumbed through it until I found this section of law. And I stood on the Senate floor and I said, Senator, let me read something to you. And I read just a short paragraph out of the Oklahoma Constitution. And then I read a paragraph off of his bill, front page of his bill. And I asked this question, would you not agree with me that your bill violates the tenets of the Oklahoma Constitution? Here was his answer. Well, I would agree with that, but you know that we don't always go by that on this floor. Same thing at the federal government. So what do? What have we done in times past? We let it go. Unchallenged. Folks, let me tell you. Let me give a little commercial for my gubernatorial race. I am a danger to the status quo. Things will not remain the same. I fully intend to challenge those kind of laws. If an unconstitutional law came to my desk as governor, it wouldn't take me a split second to veto it. No discussion. And I will study those issues. But we, again, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but we have today what we have because rarely the status quo is challenged. Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to pass a bill that requires the state senate and legislature to cite their authority to every law?
You're going to like this bill. I'm actually sponsoring that this year. It's an enumerated powers act. And my good buddy Charles Key, if you don't know him, Representative Charles Key, a true patriot, one of the best representatives in the state of Oklahoma. He's sponsoring that in the House. He's actually offering it, and I'm his Senate bill. And yes, you're going to have to state the Oklahoma Constitution as well as the federal Constitution if it applies there. So, we've gotten off track. Amen. Throughout the years. And here's the thing, it's disturbing, it's discouraging when you think where we are today. But here is the exciting part. It's worked for over 200 years. The great American dream has worked. But we have just gotten off course. And it's our fault. We have set back, and we just expected that the politicians have done the right thing. But they haven't. They have taken our country away from us. Mm-hmm. We need to get back to that right there. Mm-hmm. Thomas Paine said, we all know the famous quote, give me liberty or give me death.
Yeah.
But you remember the first part of that paragraph. He asked a question. He said, is life so dear or peace so sweet to be purchased with the price of chains and slavery?
Yeah.
God forbid, he said. No. You see, life is good only in this country.